Hey, Wedding Confessionals listeners, it's Brooke.
And Pam.
Coming in early to let you know that this is going to be two-parter. You're listening to part one.
Two-parter.
As Pam so lovingly sang, this is a two-parter. What you're going to listen to is part one with our fun night with Amanda Walker, who has some great, awesome tips about the new trends of 2019 in weddings.
Yes.
But we talked so much that we are going to push the confessionals until next week. So this episode is just going to be our convo with her, learning all about the new trends for the year in weddings. So at the end of this episode, Pam and I will pop back in to give you some weekly bridal breaks. Sound good, Pammy?
Yep.
All right, cool. So listen to this episode and wait next week for the confessionals. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Something borrowed, something blue. Give us all your juicy news, sensational, irrational. It's Wedding Confessionals.
Welcome to another episode of Wedding Confessionals. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Pam.
And the only thing we love more than weddings
is talking about weddings.
Pammy.
Yes.
I'm very excited about our guest.
Me too.
She's returning.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to tell everybody about our giveaway too.
Yes.
So let's do that first, and then we'll. I want to get that out of the way because if not, I'm going to forget. Because
let's do it.
That can be a problem for me. So Pammy, we mentioned in our little mini episode for New Year's Day that we're doing something new and exciting.
Yes.
We're doing a we're calling it the sticker and photo giveaway.
Yes.
It's jazzy title. We got to work on the title. Yeah, we're going to work on it. Working title. But the idea is that we're asking you to go to whatever podcast provider that you have, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher, and you hit subscribe or follow, whatever it is they allow you to do. Give us a rating, give us a review, whatever it is you can do to show your love for us and to also let other people find us, because that's how they find us, by us growing in their little algorithms. And from there, take a screen grab of whatever you've done. Email us. What's the email address?
weddingconfessionals@gmail.com.
Yes, you email us a picture of what you've done along with your mailing address, and in return we will give you, which one thing is super fun, which is a sticker, a Wedding Confessional sticker. It's our fun little logo created by David Kantrowitz, former guest. And also we decided, just for funsies, speaking of which, as you can hear in the background, Ruth, we're going to give you a picture of Ruth.
Who doesn't want a picture of Ruth?
So if you send us an email with the screen grab and your mailing address, we will send you a sticker to put on your wedding binder and also a picture of Ruth to keep you motivated during those months and weeks of planning.
Yes. Keep you sane.
Yeah, she's our little mascot, and she can be your emotional guide dog through the crazy wedding planning process.
Yes, exactly.
So anyway, do it. Send us a little picture.
Keep them coming.
And we'll send you a little picture.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about the giveaway, we have to talk about how Wedding Confessionals works.
Okay.
One of the way Wedding Confessionals worked is I think that we have to let Ruth out. Is she going to go?
You ready, Ruthie?
Bye, Ruth. So now that Ruth has left the room. So the way Wedding Confessionals works is that we have on a guest and they tell us all about their history with weddings. And then we will read confessionals that listeners have submitted that are completely anonymous. Their rants, their questions, their fun stories.
Yes. All good.
But first we like to chat with the guest and they help us, but we also need to go to their personal history. We already know this person's personal history.
Yes.
Because she's been on the show before.
She has.
She was in episode 64. You're so good.
Wow.
Confessions of a Wedding Planner. It's Amanda Walker. Hey, go ahead.
Welcome back.
I'm so happy to be here.
So you're a wedding and event planner.
Yes, ma'am.
You're the owner of Salt and Sparrow.
Salt and Sparrow.
And you are a busy gal.
So busy. Too busy.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be on a nice 6-week break.
Yeah. So we're not even going to get through your personal history of weddings, because if you want to know that, just listen to episode 64.
64.
Yep. We brought you on because it's 2019. 2019.
I can't believe it.
And we want to talk about the wedding trends.
Yes.
Because
the trends.
The last time you were on, you started talking about how you go to these conventions in Vegas and they tell you basically what's going to be happening for the next calendar year. For the most part, they're right.
Yeah, they're pretty dead on.
Okay, so I feel like I have questions.
I can't wait to hear.
But I just want you to start talking, and then I have questions, because I casually, briefly chatted with you about before we started recording, and you already started blowing my mind with too many details that I just had to wait for the show. So we're here. You went to Vegas.
When does this happen?
Vegas. This year it was early November.
Okay.
And like I think I said before, if you've never experienced the wedding industry professionals, I mean, I think you should in a large group setting at least once in your life.
Can we go, Pam?
Yes.
Is this the year?
Next year?
Yeah. No,
We could go to, there's more, like the Knot does one, like everybody does one. So this one's like sponsored by the Knot, but then like Wedding Wire does one in like usually February or May.
We're going.
So there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Are they in Vegas? Are they all in Vegas?
No. There's some here. They're all over. Yeah, but it's such an eclectic crowd.
What is the personality type that gets into wedding professional that I would show up in Vegas type person?
So I mean, the hardest part for me is we go to like a lot of these stylist meetings, and their classes about, you know, they have guest speakers, and the guest speaker is like this great planner or event designer or whatever, and you go and they talk about everything from what you should wear to like a job interview, and it's like, I know you guys can't see me, but let me describe my outfit right now. So I am in big old black Doc Martens, baggy, probably men's used Levi's from I don't know when, a hooded sweatshirt and a leopard jacket. Like,
yep.
And this lady is talking about, you know, wearing like a pencil skirt and a little like blouse with some weird earrings that don't even make sense, and like big necklace, like very Southern hair. And I'm just like, babe, it's not me. And if you pick me to be your wedding coordinator because I look like that, then we're probably not going to get along. Like,
not a match.
No, I'm kooky, you know? So let's get kooky together. Like, I can make things pretty, but I'm not going to show up to a meeting in heels. Never. Okay. And that's dead wrong. Because if I go on site and I see a planner or someone that claims to be a planner in high heels, bitch, you ain't a planner. This is like your second job. We don't wear heels.
You're on your feet the
you
whole
have like
time.
running shoes on.
There's
right?
no chance. No, we wear flat, nice shoes, but
okay.
You don't wear heels. If you have anything with the heel on, that is death. You are going to not make it through a 12-hour shift. I bring 4 pairs of shoes, and I change throughout the night. And by the end of the night, I'm in slippers or just plain fluffy socks from Target when I'm cleaning up, because you don't sit. The planner never sits. The planner never eats. You know, everyone else is like, oh, I've been here for 3 hours. I need to eat food. I'm like, I've been here for 10 and I have not eaten yet. Shut up. We need to do speeches. I'll feed you after that, you know? So you get this like interesting group of people, and then you get the videographers and the DJs.
Okay.
And you always wonder, what did they miss out on in life?
I love that this has turned into a wedding convention roast.
It is.
Going.
I think the look of shock on our faces right now is amazing.
I mean,
we fed Amanda some wine, and here we go.
Yes.
It's not bad, and it's a good profession, but drop your music video persona and just be the wedding video guy, you know? And then it's the DJ, and it's like, yeah, you know, my resume, like I was on this commercial and I had an appearance on The Shield and I was this and I was that, and then I've been at the Comedy Store, and I'm a wedding DJ. It's like, I get it. You didn't make money doing that. That's great. That's your passion. You're good at this, so own it. But it's just, no, there's still that improv. They're still trying to be famous in this.
Could you maybe teach them how it's possible to have separate resumes? You know what I mean? Because that's true in other professions where you have a resume that makes sense for the job that you're trying to get, and then you don't put the other things on there that don't really pertain to that.
Yeah. I mean, totally. I'm an onion. You peel back the layers and you find all kinds of good shit in there. You know, I have to bring a lot of flavor to your life in a lot of different ways. But when I'm in my wedding coordinator alter ego, I'm going to be in my wedding coordinator alter ego. And that's who I'm going to be. And when I'm in my mom persona, I'm going to be my mom, you know? And when I'm in, you know, I might not be able to run a timeline in my life, but I can run a timeline at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
That's the truth.
Yeah, you know? So it's like, it's just pick it. But they don't. And so you go into these conventions and you go to these after parties with these people, and it's like, oh dear Jesus, they think they're like Justin Bieber, like on stage doing some crazy dance moves, and they're like drones flying around, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? What is going on here? And it's like the nerd prom. That's what it is.
Oh, it's nerd prom.
It is. It's nerd prom.
Aww.
And it's so entertaining and release your inhibitions, but it's just like you just could do a show about that. Like you want to know their backgrounds and how they got to this place, you know?
So wait, so you go, they tell you how to dress, the DJs act like Justin Bieber, the videographers act like music video directors.
McGee.
When do you actually see anything about like the trends, or is anyone just selling you stuff the whole time?
So just because they look like that doesn't know they don't know what they're talking about.
Okay.
They do have validity to what they're saying. So style wise, we might not agree. But when you're talking about color palettes, or you're talking about playlists, or you're talking about style and function of a video, they do know what sells and what they need to do. And it is good advice. And they do know the technology in terms of the editing technology and what people are looking for, and like fast forward videos and what's trending and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They just we might not have the same style in terms of persona.
I have my own personal gripe that I'm just going to throw out there to see if you've heard about this yet. I have been going to weddings for the last couple of years, and the pattern of DJs that just play songs not all the way through, it's just medley after medley after medley. Is that still a thing?
I don't hear a lot of medleys, but I would love to move out of like the electric cha-cha and whatever that other one is, like to the left. Take it back there, y'all. Crisscross. Everybody clap. Let's I mean, bring it back to the Macarena for all I care. Like, let's do throwbacks at this point. But those like get up and dance songs, like we need to revamp them. We need to find some new ones. Like, I had Baby Shark play the other day. That was kind of refreshing.
That's fun.
You know, Baby Shark was out there.
That sticks in your head forever.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Fortnite dances coming out in grand entrances.
Nice.
So, you know, I feel like I need to know the moves because they are asking me how to perform them. And I do have boys, so I do know the gist of them. But I think I need to improve so that I can teach lessons before we go out. But I'd like to the medleys. I haven't heard a lot of like medleys. But it is still all the same songs. God, guys, if you want me to write a playlist for you, I can. Just hit me up, and I'll just write a playlist for you. Let's get some different music. Enough with Bruno Mars. You know, I can't anymore. Let's find something new.
He may be in the Illuminati.
That might get us killed.
We can't go down the road of Illuminati. We did it before we started recording.
No.
So wait, so you were also mentioning that there's a lot of virtual reality stuff that's being promoted now that's now starting to pick up.
Yeah, what's that new?
What is that?
Totally. So a couple years ago when I went, they started introducing this VR stuff. Well, as we all know, VR has taken a life of its own. We see the thing that I was comparing it to was this new Google thing where like you put on the VR goggles and you can actually like watch TV like with your friend's avatar, but watch the same show through the goggles. It's so weird. But in events, what they're doing, and it's not just the event business. If you go on like furniture stores now and stuff, you can see your virtual home when like you pick a room and you like place your furniture. So it's the same type of idea, except we have avatars now. So you put on the VR with like your client or whatever in your office, but you actually are in the actual event space.
What?
Virtually. and you're in your avatar form, and you're actually placing tables and stuff, so that the hardest part with designing events is it's all in your head, right? No one can see how it's going to come together. You can draw a layout, but it's going to be to scale as much as it can, but there's always tweaks that are going to happen, things of that sort. This actually, you lay it in so they can actually see a virtual room of it. As they're picking, you can plug different rentals in and see how it actually looks visually in the space.
That's genius.
That's
because
insane.
For some people, it's very hard to visualize. If you haven't had a job or any sort of experience that has you doing that, that's genius.
Yeah, so that's like the new thing is this crazy VR setup software where they have a bunch of the typical venues. So there's programs like All Seated and stuff like that where there are venues already programmed in with further dimensions and stuff, so you don't have to measure, and you can throw in the tables to scale and things of that sort, but you can't like put tablecloths on it or make it look like a picture. So we do that through vision boards where it's more like cut and paste, mood boards, whatever, and we're trying to place it as best we can with fake pictures, but things that give you the feel of what they want. This actually has a ton of venues programmed into it. You put it on, and then the rental companies that are most commonly attached to these venues, it has like their inventory in it. So you actually get to see what you're placing and how you're placing it. Now, I don't know if
this is insane.
I don't know when it's actually going to launch, but this is where it's going for 2019. So
it's very smart. I get it. I get it.
It's fantastic if you ask me, because I see in pictures. So for me, it's very easy. Like, I don't even write stuff down. If you're describing it to me, it's in my head. It makes no sense for me to really write it down because it doesn't make sense to me on paper. And even when I go to my clients, I'm like, please don't look at the way I take notes, because they're not like listed. They're in bubbles here, bubbles there. And if anyone else tried to read them, they'd have no idea how to translate it. But this for like the clients, because the biggest fear is, well, you're the expert, but we don't know. I don't really know how it's going to come together. Can you show me pictures of someone else's that had the same amount of tables? Well, this is like, no, let's just do yours. This is exactly what it's going to look like. Here's an overhead view of it.
Yeah.
Pick your avatar. You can be whoever you want. You want to be Penelope, be Penelope.
That also is nice because it takes away a lot of the fear.
Totally.
Takes the unknown out of the picture.
Totally.
Because the day of, you're all waiting up to that big day and all the little details and being able to just know, oh, that's what it's going to look like.
But
okay.
It could be double-edged in that way too.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
Because there's a lot of times that it's not going to play out exactly how it was supposed to play out.
Reality is different from virtual.
Sure. And sometimes when people have a clear picture in their head, it's much more disappointing if it doesn't come out that way, and they're much less go with the flow according to circumstance.
Sure.
I had a crazy bride.
I like it.
This year.
I like this. All right.
That was kind of like a good example of this. Super sweet, super organized. Everybody wants to be a wedding coordinator, you think, but you don't. We don't get paid enough. Came the day, she was super happy. Now, granted, I had to miss a meeting. I'm not going to hold myself, I know that I disappointed her a little bit. This is an unforgivable business. So my mother was in the hospital, and I could not leave the hospital that day. And so I had to miss a meeting. You all say you understand, but the reality is I get it. You don't 100%. So you're holding that in your back of your heart a little bit as already a hit. I get it, kind of, but life happens, I've never been sick for a wedding because it's not acceptable, so it can't happen.
Right.
But life happens, and sometimes we can't be there to go over a walkthrough that we've already had. Or like, I get that the attention's needed, but you have to trust me that I get it. I already get it. And we can have a FaceTime call, and it's going to go just as good as me being in person. I promise you. I will put my children's life on the line. I'm not going to fuck it up. So she was already upset, and she was she admitted having a little bit of an OCD issue and stuff. So that day I was on point with the staff. I was like, okay, listen, this needs to be really special for her. She's going to be super disappointed. They're a great couple. Like, but if anything goes wrong, you have to know it's going to affect her person a lot. So we need to be like double checking everything. So we did. We double checked everything. We're totally on our game. She had me set up her dessert bar. It was a cookie thing. I said, okay. I said, do you have pictures? She said, no. She's like, just do it. Just do your thing. Okay, whatever. She said, here's my decor. And she gave me a box of signage. And it's all wedding signage. So I just put all the signage out because it's all wedding signage. And you give me a box of signage and you tell me just to put it out. So I'm just going to put it out. So apparently she didn't want a memory sign out. And there was a memory sign out by an angel that we have in the yard. And so whatever, I didn't know. I asked her fiance before I put it out. He's like, yeah, if it was in the box, just go ahead and do it. I set up the cookies. And supposedly there was supposed to be a sign for the cookies that I didn't know that there was a sign because if you don't tell me things exist, I don't know. And then it was supposed to look like some kind of traditional cookie thing. And supposedly it didn't look correctly, even though I checked with the person that was in charge of the cookie display. And they said, yeah, it looks great. It's perfect. Everything's great. Anyways, cut to... her bustle breaks and her bridemaid is trying to pin it and gets a dot of blood on her dress. It spirals her.
Oh dear.
Into a complete nervous breakdown.
Oh no.
Oh no.
She comes to me. I've never experienced it before in my life. Face to face. You're not getting a 5-star review. You put a sign out that wasn't supposed to go out. The cookie display didn't look like the way that it was supposed to look. I'm like, well, there should be so many more cookies. I'm like, every single one of your cookies is out. She's like, that's not possible. This is just not acceptable. Da 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 da. Went on about the review she was gonna write, everything, and I'm like, I hear you. I get it. I'm sorry. I just want it to be everything you want. I don't want you to be upset right now. Like, let's move on. Da 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 da. The plastic to-go trays aren't out. I'm like, well, I didn't want them in your photograph. Okay, great. I didn't even know the plastic to-go tray. I just stumbled upon them. But okay, whatever. I'm going to take the hit. That stuff kills me, too. So now I'm upset. So now the chef's like, come outside. There's emergency on the driveway, and he's got a bottle of tequila out there for me. And he's like, you need to calm down. And I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm beside myself, because... I got here 3 hours early to make sure everything was perfect for this girl. Anyways, long story short, she doesn't write anything, whatever, it's fine, and everything's fine at the end. But this is a person that had an idea in her head. She had make-believe pictures in her head of which she had set up. She didn't organize it properly in terms of the way that she wanted it to be if she was that particular, and then she couldn't go with the flow. Yeah. So... the virtual reality could work both ways. Because you get people like this that they see it perfect, but then something happens and it's not perfect, and then they fly off the handle and freaking go crazy, and it's like a manic, insane night that throws everyone off their game.
You have to decide when you meet the people if they're virtual reality people or not.
Yeah.
So you can't even advertise it because you don't want it to backfire.
Oh, it's scary. It's frightening.
Yeah.
Could be frightening backlash, and then I'll have a nervous breakdown and have to be the drunk wedding coordinator by the end of the night to get through the night without getting in a fight with someone.
Over cookies. Oh, come on.
Tequila's your friend.
Yeah.
Usually I don't drink when I work, but sometimes, man.
I mean, I get it.
Sure.
When that fire starts to rise and you have to keep putting on a smiley face. When you haven't sat down in 16 hours and someone tells you that you're doing something wrong because you didn't put out a fucking frame.
Yeah, that's tough.
You're like, I just ran this whole shit.
Yeah.
Like, we are on time. Your food is hot. Like, one frame. Seriously.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to swallow sometimes.
For sure.
Especially when it's like October and you've been in it since like February. At that point, you're so like tired and you're just like,
just get me through.
Wedding season doesn't really end anymore.
Yeah, I think it's pushing. I think that's why it's been like a marathon the past 2 seasons, because it's been in like this transition.
What was it before? Was it always just summer?
No, I feel like before it was definitely like March to July, August-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the past couple years it's been way pushing into September, mid-October. But it's kind of been stopping in mid-October. This year, forget it. No way. It never stopped. So, like, we went all the way through November. We got a little bit slow in December, but we're picking up at the end of December into January. I think that, though, the trend is going to be less spring weddings, way less summer weddings, and wedding season. And the vendors have seen the trend too, because we were all panicking that no one was booking in like July. No one. The rental companies, the venues, no one was booking. And I was like, I don't think we should panic. I was like, I think wedding season's pushing. I think it's going to be September, October, November, December, January, February, March. And by May, it's going to quit out. And that's where I think it's going. So I think that nobody was really booking till those months. And the inquiries are reflecting that on my end. It's definitely a lot of October weddings. October's your most desired wedding.
I love fall weddings.
Oh, fall weddings are beautiful.
They're so pretty.
They're the best.
Yeah.
And I think that weather is changing too. So those March and April weddings are...
Shit, climate change is
tricky.
affecting weddings.
Climate change doesn't exist.
It's not real.
Oh, thanks,
Remember?
guys. Thanks for clearing that up for me. Jesus. That's
So what else did you learn
interesting.
at the convention?
Yeah, what's the color?
Okay, so
Yes.
emerald green.
Really?
Ooh,
Emerald green all year.
I'm in.
Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emerald green, a powder blue that's almost a gray.
Yeah.
We're going back to like Victorian times. That's what I think. Mid-century decor, mid-century everything. And we see that like in house decor too right now. That's kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I think it's reflective of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the emerald greens, the powdered blues, the burnt oranges, like those really classic colors, golds. Forget the rose gold. Rose gold is done. Its time has come
trash.
and gone.
Over.
I feel like it was barely here.
It came for a couple years. You know, we went
Yeah.
through that rustic phase. That is over.
No more rustic.
No, forget mason jars. Throw 'em
Mason
in the trash.
jars.
That's gone.
Okay.
We're going to gold. We're going geometric.
Okay.
Gold and geometric shapes.
Interesting.
Okay.
A bunch of those like wire hexagons.
Yeah, those are big right now.
Things like that, terrariums.
Yep.
Those gold terrariums. Floating flowers. A lot of stuff in the air. High
Oh.
things.
Really?
So, like
Okay.
even tables.
When you say floating flowers, what do you mean?
So
Like upside down?
yeah.
Oh.
Upside down, like hanging roses.
Cool.
Oh.
Also like table settings where it's almost like the flower arrangements are on a stand that's high, but they're not pillar vases. They're like rectangular metal units, and the flowers are long runners, but high up.
Can I see you if I'm sitting across from you with this situation? Is
Yes,
it
so
hollow?
you can see me through the middle.
Oh.
So the flowers are above the heads.
So it's like a metal stand.
Yes.
And it's above.
They're floating flowers.
Bars are
basically.
like that now too. A lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of floating metal, like, and you go to like a bar. Mm-hmm. It's like floating metal above you. where
Yeah,
all the
a lot of
stuff is.
shelving.
Yeah.
Like mercury mirrored shelving. Just mid-century all around. You know,
Interesting. Yeah.
Clean lines.
clean lines, real clean lines. Black dance floors. Which
Black
we're
dance
seeing a lot of white.
floors. Yeah.
Or the wood. I mean, wood's been in, but wood is kind of going out. And then the mix of materials. Nothing necessarily has to make sense. Like what you think in your head would make sense, it doesn't necessarily have to make sense. Like you can mix your modern geometric shapes, your white pin-tucked leather chairs, and then throw in wood platters, you know, or something weird
Okay.
like that. So your materials don't necessarily have to completely be what would be expected, I guess would be a good way to put it.
When you're looking ahead to venues and stuff, are you seeing people gravitate towards certain styles?
What I'm really seeing venue-wise is everybody likes the all-inclusive package right now. I don't blame them, because you know what you're getting into right off the bat.
Yeah.
I see a trend in people picking venues that come with everything. Like, here's the price. $50,000 gets you this. You get rentals, you get this, you get that. If you choose to upgrade, these are your upgrades. This is your cost. Yada, yada, yada. There's no build-in. The build-in is going away.
So all the mystery's gone. It's just basically a menu in front of you, and like, this is what you're getting.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
People like it more. You know, it's easier, and I think that people are getting a little bit more budget
conscious
aware than they've been in the past couple years. And they know that they can kind of add in the stuff that means a lot to them. But in terms of just like knowing what they're getting into, I feel like it's
the basics.
Yeah, because then they're booking it and they already know what they're getting into, rather than booking a venue, not knowing how much your caterer is going to cost, not knowing how many rentals they're going to need to fill this space. It's a lot of X factors when you pick a place to be able to manage a budget, especially if you haven't picked a coordinator before you go into that, because you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Sure, exactly.
And everybody wants the day of or month of coordinator, and then what happens is we end up trying to fix what you've done. Don't try to do it yourself. We'll give you a good deal.
Well, how many venues do you work with demand that it come with a coordinator? Like, you can't do it unless you have a coordinator attached.
Oh, most.
Yeah.
I would say 95% of them.
They don't want to deal with the messes.
Yeah, the problem is that they don't demand a time frame that you have to have a coordinator for. Like, you need a coordinator 6 months out. They're like, you just need a coordinator there the day of.
Oh,
yeah.
Got it.
And then what happens is we walk in. I won't do day of. I'll do month of, but I won't do day of because I think it sets everyone up for failure. And month of is new because people want it. But what happens is we walk into this and you've tried to design it and you've done your best, but you don't know what you're doing. So you don't know how to build a kitchen for a caterer. You know, you don't know all the things that you're going to need. You don't know timing wise. And now I'm coming in with 30 days to fix all the things that you have not done correctly. And I'm not getting paid for all these hours that I'm going to have to put in. So that's the beef, you know. But at the same time, I don't want to have a failure on my list either. So,
sure. Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do what I have to do, but it's not a fair price. You know, so it's kind of like it's this catch-22. Yeah, you have to have a coordinator, but you can just come in on the day and run it, and it can be a shit show. I can't do it. I can't let it be a shit show. It's your wedding. I just can't. I can't
It's
let
a painful day of work.
Yeah. That's no fun.
So,
what other styles are you seeing come up? Are there certain dress styles?
Type of flowers?
Yeah.
So I would say rose is back in for sure.
So rose gold is out, but rose is the flower in. Red or just any color?
A lot of red, actually. Okay.
It sounds like jewel colors with the emerald green.
It's all those real traditional, like old school colors. Like, you know, when you think back to like Titanic Day, you know, like those type of colors.
Very bold.
Yeah, very bold. Navy blues.
Mm-hmm.
I would say even the silvers coming in, you know, like the diamonds, the silvers, plexi way more than anything. Glass in general. So when it comes to like candles and vases, we want crystal, like old school crystal now.
Really?
Yeah, like that clear crystal candlesticks, those clear crystal vases.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different heights in terms of like centerpieces. And then in terms of flowers, you know, hydrangea is kind of out. I would say that the wildflower look is in, but more herby rather than wildflowery.
Yeah, because that feels too hippy-dippy.
Yeah.
Rustic.
Yeah, more like maybe there's some lavender, maybe there's some cotton, maybe there's some different kinds of greenery, but we're not getting like the daisies and the poppies and stuff like that. Anemone poppies, yes, still very in. Peonies, always in.
So less cutesy, more just organic feeling.
Lots of calla lilies.
Huh.
For weddings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people say it's a funeral flower, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But calla lilies, they're clean, they go with those clean lines. And then dresses, all satin. Clean like frosting. All satin. Meghan Markle started a
Yeah,
trend.
she did. It was very clean.
Yeah.
And I complained. I thought it was boring.
And that's
true.
really where it's going. I think the lace is going to get thrown out a little bit, and we're going to go back to the classic Audrey Hepburn. I mean, that's where we're going. We're going back in the day here. Anything nostalgic.
It's just funny because the look that they're going for, almost like with the flowers and the glass and the gold, it almost feels more Victorian.
Totally.
But the dress seems so like mid-century modern. And
because there is that twist. So
Yeah.
you bring in those plexis, you bring in those hard lines, you bring in that floating stuff, and you get that mid-century feel.
Yeah.
But it's like this Victorian mid-century twist. We did that rustic chic type of twist. Now we're kind of transitioning into this almost, like Hunger Games-y futuristic type of feel. The whatever that place, the main place was called. Not the districts, but the
Right.
Oh yeah,
they were all
It's
like
like
crazy futuristic-y looking.
Starts with a P, like
Panera or Panjanera. Yeah, guys,
Something.
Panera bread. Guys, I think it was
bread.
Panera
I
bread.
think we got
Totally.
it. Yeah.
I'm sure the listeners that know this are screaming
Oh
at
yeah,
home.
Yes.
they're like,
So
oh my
mad
god,
at
they
us.
don't know the Hunger Games.
How do you not know that?
I can't remember it.
I can't remember it either.
I think Pam, I borrowed the Hunger Games from you.
Probably.
Was it you?
I enjoyed them.
Yeah. So
They're
that's
good. They're good.
yeah. No, I did. I
But
liked
it didn't
it.
stick clearly.
Well, it comes and it goes. The memory.
But if you look at their costumes, they do have that Victorian mid-century type feel with the futuristic feel in there.
Yeah.
Like the city, not the districts, the other place.
The clothes were very geometric shapes and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that's what it reminds me of.
I have a question. Do you like it? Do you like what's going on right now?
I do actually.
Okay.
I'm kind of hippy dippy and boho-y. However, I just dig it. I'm doing this bat mitzvah in February, and I'm so excited. I'm building a whole set, and we're kind of going with that a little bit. We're playing in a more young type fashion of
What do you
it.
mean a whole set?
The room's going to be like a stage.
What?
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. It's like a fancy Alice in Wonderland, but without being whimsical, with being more contemporary.
Okay. Cool.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so it should be fun. I think I'm going to do all navy blue roses in plexi boxes, like as the centerpieces and stuff like that, like floating.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
floating books and...
Very cool.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited. The walls are going to come alive, and the whole place is just going to be like crazy flowers, but like really tall ones. And I think I'm going to put grass everywhere except for the dance floor, and then just light it all crazy.
Real grass or fake grass?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I might just do sod. It seems easy and cheaper, and
Yeah. More
Yeah.
fun. It's cheap.
put a platform down, throw some sod down, and I could grow it in beds and actually just bring the platform beds in as the floor.
You just roll it out.
And
You
nail
just
them
lay it
all
down on
together.
plastic and you just roll it out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We need to crash this party, Brooke.
Yeah. Can we come
Yeah.
as your assistants?
Yeah, we'll work.
We're not. Well, I'm not gonna work.
You can just
Sort of.
pretend like you're working.
I'll
Yeah.
be, are you cool with us being like terrible employees? Great. That I know how to do.
Yeah, no. Yeah, come. It's gonna be exciting. I'm so excited.
Okay,
I love
cool.
getting to do that because you get to be a little wild, you know?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, so fun.
What is your favorite thing that you've seen that's the new trend that you're like, ooh, okay?
My bride and Catalina Allison in July, she had these crazy geometric wire hexagon-y things that had little circles for like test tubes in them. And that's what she decorated like the walls with. So they were like these weird like geometric shapes with test tubes, and like she put like crazy flowers in them, and they just looked so cool. Ooh. I have them. She gave them to me, and I'm obsessed with them. That's probably my favorite. I've never seen them ever at any other wedding. And the thing about
Did she make them herself?
I don't know, but the test tube thing was just so weird, you know, like, but it just made sense, and it just looked super cool.
Well, test tubes are very clear and clean, but also remind you of like medicine and science. It's kind of a fun little mind twist.
Yeah, no, it was cool. That was very cool. And I love it. There's a lot of hanging globes right now, like little globes with clear globes with flowers in them and stuff like that we're just like tying up everywhere and just overtaking areas with. And I really like that.
That sounds fun. But high enough that I'm not going to get hit, right? I'm kind of tall. Maybe I have to duck.
Yeah, you might have to duck.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I like a little air of danger.
All right. It's good. Makes the night more interesting.
Yeah.
Totally.
And we are back. Hey, Pammy.
Hey.
So now it's time for us to give our weekly bridal breaks. To anyone who's new to the show, welcome. Bridal breaks are just suggestions that we give not only to brides, but to anyone who is helping out with a wedding, of fun things to do that have nothing to do with weddings, so that you can enjoy your life and not have it just being obsessed with the trends of 2019.
Although that is fun.
That being said, I mean, well, it's always fun for us because we're not in the middle of like planning weddings.
True.
I'm sure some of the trends are stressing out the brides now. They're like, oh no, I have the wrong color. You don't have the wrong color. Your color is fine. Your color is fine.
Pick whatever one you want.
Totally. So Pammy, you usually give a drink as your bridal break. What do you got for us this week?
So it is January, the new year, and even though I'm not doing a sober January, I found this cocktail on mylifecookbook.com. It is kind of if you're following the keto diet, it would be okay with that diet. It's called a grapefruit ginger fizz. And that sounded really like nice and light and yummy. So the ingredients in this is syrup, which I'm guessing is a simple syrup. Syrup water. Yeah. Making a simple syrup. Half cup of swerve. I don't even know what that is.
What is it?
It's SWERVE.
Oh, I wonder if it's some sort of like low sugar thing.
Is it? Maybe. I'll have to look that up. It has grapefruit, ginger, and it has vodka, grapefruit juice, and ginger ale.
Yum.
So, you know what? That is what it is. So to make their website is a little wonky on my phone, so maybe it's maybe it's laid out a little better on the website. But to make the simple syrup, it is water, swerve, which you're probably right, is like a stevia,
a sugar substitute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Grapefruit and ginger, and then the drink is gin or vodka, grapefruit juice, syrup, and then ginger ale to taste.
That's cool.
Sounds delicious.
Right on. What's it called again?
It's called a grapefruit ginger fizz.
Yum! I'll have that. That sounds good. I love grapefruit in drinks, so I'm definitely on board.
Yeah.
My bridal break for the week is a Netflix series. It's actually pretty short. It's called Derry Girls, not dairy like cows, but Derry as in Londonderry, which is in Northern Ireland. So DERRY Girls. I think it's only 6 episodes. It's a comedy, but it's set in the 1990s in Northern Ireland, where they were having all of those kind of like almost like a civil war, where there's a lot of unrest about if they were going to be with England or Ireland, and there was all these like bombings, and it was really like a stressful time in that area of that country. But the show is just kind of about people living their everyday lives while like all this crazy stuff's going on around them. So it's kind of interesting because most of it is about these teenage girls in school. So the idea of when you're a teenager, even though there's a freaking war going on around you, like what you care about is like cute boys and going to parties and stuff like that. So it's very funny, and it's already gotten amazing reviews and has been picked up for a second season.
Nice.
So they're definitely coming back, and I blasted it in like 2 sittings and it was so fun. I really liked it.
Nice.
Lots of like strong female young girls doing their thing, and it's genuinely laugh out loud funny. But I will say, if you are an American, put on the subtitles because the accents are thick.
Does it have good music? Is that 90s music?
Yes. Oh, that's the other thing, is that usually when you get like a UK or European show coming over in America, they have all these different, they take out all the music because they can't like license it all. But I guess because Netflix was the one producing this from the get-go, they made sure that the music would be the same wherever you're watching the show.
Right.
Because that was one of the great things about the TV show Skins, bonus bridal break. The TV show Skins is amazing, the British one. But if you watch it in England, all the original soundtrack is flawless, and all the soundtrack for the American one is trash. But for this show, Derry Girls, it's all the so have 90s hits after 90s hits. Like it starts with the Cranberries.
Nice.
So it's like already like all these really fun songs that you remember from the 90s. They sort of dress and do their hair like in the 90s, but very realistic.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I genuinely enjoyed it, and I'm so happy that it's coming back.
Nice. The Derry Girls.
Yeah, Derry Girls, and it's on Netflix.
Fun.
Yeah, so it's my bridal breaks. And then now that we're done our bridal breaks, Pammy, we got to tell everybody a little bit more about our show and
Yes.
and how you can reach us. We do it in the form of a quiz so that Pam stays as sharp as possible. She's not in front of my clipboard, so she can't cheat. Pamela.
Yes.
We have a website. What is it?
WeddingConfessionals.com.
From there, you can find links to all of our social media handles. Where are we on social media?
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest.
Yeah, you can also find show notes and fun pictures and links to info about us and each episode. We also want you to tell us your confessionals, please. We love them. There are 3 different ways that you can send us confessionals. One is an email address. Pam, what's the email address?
It's weddingconfessionals@gmail.com.
And you can also leave us a voicemail by calling our phone number, and we will transcribe what you tell us. So your voice will never be on air to keep your secret and keep everything anonymous. Pam, what is our phone number?
434. 933. 2663.
Yes.
Oh.
434-933-2663. Leave us a voicemail.
I'm surprising myself.
I know. I'm proud of you. You're getting good at this. The last way is a really popular way with a lot of people. You don't have to give us your phone number or your email address. You just go to our website, which again is what, Pam?
WeddingConfessionals.com.
And you click on a tab that says what?
Tell us your secret.
Yes. Hit on Tell Us Your Secret. From there, it's just a quick form. It's just a name. You can make it up. And a little box for you to type in all of your drama and dilemmas and fun stories.
Yeah, we love it all.
Yeah. Hit send and boom, that's it. So 3 different ways to send us your confessionals. Please do it because we love them and it keeps the show fun and exciting for us. And we love hearing about strangers' dramas.
Exactly.
Also, as we mentioned in the beginning of the show, please make sure to subscribe and like and follow or whatever on all the different podcast providers, including Apple/iTunes. We can be found at a bunch of different places, Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Apple Podcasts, which I just talked about. So that's a spoiler. You get that one for free. I've put the rest in alphabetical order. Yeah, you're welcome. Where can you find our show besides Apple Podcasts, Pam?
Castbox.
Yep.
Castro.
Yep.
Downcast.
Yes.
Google Play.
Yes.
iHeartRadio.
Yep.
Overcast.
Yep.
And then the P's, and there's a lot of them.
Yep. See how many you can get right.
Player FM.
Yes.
Podbean.
No. Pocket Cast. Pocket Cast, Podbean, Pod Paradise, Podtail, Podcast Addict, Podcast Land, Podcast Republic, Radio Public, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, and YouTube.
Woohoo!
You did pretty good, Pam. We got about
Someday.
like 45%. I'll give it to you. That's pretty good.
45?
45%.
Sounds like 50.
No, it wasn't 50. If you gotten Podbean, it would have been 50. Do you want me to debate me? You want me to show you the list?
No.
So that's it, Pammy. So next week, everyone's got to tune in for part 2. We get in Confessionals with Amanda. We get into kind of a little bit of debates.
We do. It's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. So stay tuned next week for part 2 with our Night with Amanda Walker. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to Andy Schreier for our adorable theme song.
And David Kantrowitz for our fantastic logo.
And Ramsey Millette and Brian Maylard for their technical support.
If you want to learn more about our show, where you got to go, Pam?
Check out our website, weddingconfessionals.com.
That's it, girl. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.